I love it.
All right. Well, we have a lot to get to this morning. The State Department coming to Hillary Clinton's rescue once again, now claiming it won't complete the court-ordered release of her schedule until after Election Day.
That's right, Sandra. Garrett Tenney is in Washington, D.C. with more on this seemingly timely development. It's kind of interesting. Good morning, Garrett.
Hey, good morning, y'all. This all goes back to those allegations of a pay-to-play culture during Hillary Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State. So far, the State Department has released about half of Clinton's daily minute-by-minute schedules from her term. And earlier this week, when the Associated Press analyzed those documents, it found that more than half of the people Clinton met or spoke with outside the government had given money to the Clinton Foundation, a total of $156 million. Clinton has since said the AP's analysis is flawed and that she met with people regardless of whether they gave money to her family's charity. As of right now, though, we won't know the details of the second half of Clinton's term at the State Department until after the election. In January, after the AP filed a lawsuit against the State Department, a U.S. district judge ordered the State Department to begin releasing batches of Clinton's detailed daily schedules from her time as Secretary of State. And at the time, the order was for the State Department to release 600 pages a month, simply because the department said it didn't know how many pages were left. Yesterday, the State Department's attorneys told the Associated Press there are about 2,700 pages left, meaning under the current schedule, we can expect to see those around December 30th. The AP has formally requested that process be sped up so that voters can have the information prior to the election. Previously, U.S. District Judge Richard Leon has expressed his own frustration over the State Department seeming to try and run out the clock on releasing documents related to Hillary Clinton. At this point, though, it's unclear if he will step in with a court order. Pete, Clayton, and Sandra.
Sandra, you got it.
You've been watching this morning. Very good.
It's actually not Garrett, it's Garrett.
Garrett.
Thanks, Garrett. All right, so what were they trying to hide? And this idea that, December 30th, we're going to wait until after the election to get access to these calendars. Why are these calendars so important? Because as the AP has already shown us, the Associated Press has already shown us, to Garrett's point, they've already, with half of the calendars released, showed that people were able to get access to Hillary Clinton, the State Department, after donating money.
With half of the calendar released, half of those who were not on the official calendar were donors to the Clinton Foundation,
right,
which we learned only through these AP reports. And they're simply saying, hey, get it out before the election. It's not an impossible thing to do.
But believe it or not, people keep asking, how come Republicans can't make a stronger case against Hillary Clinton, considering the evidence that they have? Well, Charles Krauthammer actually said on a special report last night, we're focusing on the wrong aspect of this email scandal. Listen.
Look, we have been speculating for a year about what the email scandal was all about, and I think we were diverted for a year about the classification. It's a real issue, serious issue, but that was never the issue. The issue we've always asked ourselves here is, why was she hiding this in the first place? Why did she have a private server? Obviously, it was concealing. What was she concealing? And the most obvious possible answer was the foundation. Now we are learning that exactly is what it was.
Interesting. So that is the real message here. And Charles Krauthammer has, he's been critical of, well, not critical, but he said, when all the dust settles, we're not going to be focused on Benghazi. He said that months and months and months ago. He said the American people, when they go to in the voting booth, Benghazi is not going to be what they're focused on. Maybe he's hit on something important here, that email server is really the thing that could turn the tide.
Yeah, I mean, it's ultimately, it may be the Clinton Foundation, but it's trustworthiness. It's above the law. It's the Clintons don't follow the rules that everyday Americans do. I think that's the main takeaway. They said, we don't want scrutiny. We don't want accountability from these emails. We're going to whitewash what we can. And we've already found out that of the deleted emails, some of them include the word Benghazi. So we know that of the 15,000 that are going to come out still from the FBI, some of them did pertain to Benghazi, which shows that it wasn't all about yoga.
And the only reason we know about this server is because of Benghazi and because the investigation into Benghazi.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, Tim Kaine.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of talk about race this week. This has been a heated subject on the campaign trail. A lot. And bigot has been another word that's been thrown around by Donald Trump, calling Hillary Clinton a bigot. Doubled down on that this week.
Indeed. Right. So Tim Kaine was on the trail in Tallahassee, and this is what he said, trying to link Donald Trump to the KKK.
Yesterday, Hillary Clinton gave a speech in Reno, Nevada, calling out Donald Trump on a lot of things on this equality idea, calling him out on the fact that he has supporters like David Duke connected with the Ku Klux Klan who are going around and saying Donald Trump is their candidate because Donald Trump is pushing their values. Ku Klux Klan values, David Duke values, Donald Trump values are not American values. They're not our values, and we've got to do all we can to fight, to push back and win, to say that we're still about heading toward that North Star that we set out so long ago.
All right, now part of that is fair. That is true. But it's been unsolicited. Donald Trump never asked for David Duke's support of him. He did come out and he did say, look, because Donald Trump, his message is now bringing us closer to the values that I support.
But think about this. Ku Klux Klan values are Donald Trump values. I mean, just because you want to build a wall or you don't want to let in people who are trying to infiltrate doesn't mean you support the values of white supremacists. I mean, they're conflating the two 100%. They're trying to make Donald Trump look like a racist because he supports certain policies. Right. You can't control everyone that supports you, and that doesn't mean you endorse them because of it.
Right, but so wait a second. If you're out there on the campaign trail, Sandra, and you're saying that the Ku Klux Klan is Donald Trump values because an unsolicited support, shouldn't the same thing be true of Hillary Clinton?
Well, certainly. And then there's no mention of this and talking about the way the media is covering this election and covering the candidates. There's new videotape that surfaced this morning showing KKK Grand Dragon endorsing Hillary Clinton.
I'm sure it's going to be on all of the major networks.
Let's listen.
Who do you like for president, sir?
Hillary Clinton.
Do you think whites are superior to African Americans and Latinos?
Well, we are God's chosen people.
We are God's chosen people, and I support Hillary Clinton. So we'll see if the mainstream. Oh, we'll see if Tim Kaine out on the campaign trail also points that out.
Wonderful endorsement from the Grand Dragon there. I mean, the fact that that's what we're citing at this point of who you are and what you believe is insane. But this is something the left has trafficked in for a long time, is race baiting. And they found a target, they think, a juicy target in Donald Trump. And they're going to keep doing it. But what happens when something like this comes out?
Well, is the
mainstream media ever going to talk about that?
Donald Trump campaign firing back, saying that the Hillary Clinton camp better pull down the video that they released on this and trying to tie the KKK to Donald Trump. They're calling Hillary Clinton a bigot for even doing that. So we'll wait for a response from the Clinton camp.
And let's hear your responses as well. Email us, tweet us. What do you think? Will the mainstream media be covering that equally? All right.